Hi, thank you for participating in our study on machine explanations of prostate cancer diagnosis. My name is Tirtha, and I will be demonstrating how to use Plainsight. If you have any questions or problems while watching, please contact us by email. We've divided this video into chapters so that you can easily skip topics that are not relevant to you. To do so, please hover your mouse over here in the lower video area where the red bar passes through, and use the headings to jump to the parts of the video that are relevant to you. In this study, we ask you to annotate diagnosed tissue microarray images of prostate cancer and select appropriate explanations. You can interrupt the study and continue at a later time. That's not a problem. The only important thing here would be to finish and submit the image you are working on. First, you should navigate to the correct view. You will only find one dataset in your account. Click on it, and then click on Labeler in the bar at the top. Here, you should now see the tissue microarray images of prostate cancer. Make sure you annotate only the brightly highlighted areas of the image. In this case, this area contains Gleason pattern 4. The color of the line next to the Gleason grade, here the blue line, and the outline of the highlighted areas correspond to the annotation color here on the left side. The dark area shows a different Gleason pattern and will be looked at separately in the next image. If the entire image area has been highlighted brightly, in this case, the entire tissue has been diagnosed with one Gleason grade, here with Gleason pattern 4 or 4+4. In the next section, I'll explain how to use Plainsight using this image as an example. For annotating, you may need the zoom function. If you want to zoom with the mouse wheel, please hold down the Control key on the keyboard and use the mouse wheel as usual. If you do not hold down the Control key, the image will only move up or down or from left to right. If you're using a Mac, you can see the corresponding key combination at the bottom of the screen. If you don't have a mouse wheel, but you have a touchpad on which you can scroll, you can hold down the Control keys on the keyboard again, and then zoom accordingly with the touchpad. If you neither have a touchpad nor a mouse wheel, you can also use the Expand button to enlarge the images. That's this box here in the upper right corner. Now the lesion will be enlarged. If this view is still not sufficient, you can enlarge the view by pressing the Control and the plus button in your browser. As long as nothing is selected here on the left side, you can then simply enlarge the image differently. Please note that you cannot annotate and move the image at the same time. This means that all image areas you want to annotate must be completely in the back here in this view. If you want to undo this, press Ctrl and minus again. Now we come to the annotations. What we need from each image is an annotation of the areas that are relevant to the diagnosis and a textual explanation that you select from an ontology. I'm going to show this to you on this image and then show you another case. Since we have image areas here with Gleason pattern 4, I'll click to select the appropriate class. Green represents Gleason pattern 3, blue 4, and yellow 5. So for this image, I only need Gleason pattern 4, which is blue. By clicking, I now set waypoints to make the annotation. Since the glands are lying very close together in the entire image area, and there is little or no stroma, I annotate the entire image area. In this case, a rough annotation is sufficient. I annotate the upper area first, and then again the lower area separately. Then, I select the corresponding explanation here. Atypical glands very close together, with little or no stroma. By clicking out of the box, the window closes. In general, you have the ability to add a free text here, if you feel that the explanation options are not suitable. Here are some more subtypes of Gleason pattern 4. Glomeruloid pattern, hypernephroid pattern, and cribiform. In our case, we just select atypical glands very close together with little or no stroma, and then click Done. Then I repeat the procedure for the lower area. First, I annotate the area, select the explanation, click out of the window, and then click Done. Now I want to annotate some more structures in the tissue. But at this point, the annotations I made earlier bother me. I can't see the tissue properly here. You can hide the annotations by clicking on this eye symbol here. Then the annotations disappear. You can then, if Gleason pattern 4 is still selected, continue your annotations as before. Here, I recognize several slit-like lumina that I want to annotate. So I zoom into this image. Here, you should annotate the structures as precisely as possible. Now, if I close the area, the annotation will also disappear, because I have hidden the annotation. This is normal, so please don't be surprised. Then I select the explanation as usual. In this case, it is the slit-like lumina, and then I click on Done. Hiding can be undone by clicking on the eye symbol again, so that all the annotations are visible again. I continue like this until I've annotated all relevant areas. I annotate more slit-like lumina and areas where the atypical glands have grown together or fused into cords or chains. If I'm satisfied with the annotations at this point, and I don't want to add any more image areas, then I can click Submit at the bottom right here. It's important to know at this point that once you have submitted an image, you cannot change anything. That means you can neither change the annotation nor the explanation. Therefore, I'd like to show you how you can correct errors while annotating. To correct annotations, click here on the left side of this area and then select the corresponding annotation. Here you see all the annotations you've previously saved. Click on the one that you want to edit and you'll see the waypoints that you had set earlier. You can now make corrections by moving the points. For example, move this one in. What would be important for us is that the annotation as a whole covers all the important areas of the image, but not too much of the surrounding tissue. This means that this corner of the tissue here, for example, can be cut out. I'll click on the other waypoints here and drag them inward to cut out this tissue here. If you want to correct the explanation, click on this arrow here to come back to this view. You can then correct the chosen explanation and then confirm it with Save. If you've set one annotation too many and would like to delete one, I'll just take this annotation here as a demonstration. Just select the annotation on the left side, and then you can simply delete it using the Delete button here at the top. If you're now satisfied with your annotations and your explanations, then just click on Submit. Depending on how fast your internet connection is, it may take a moment until the next image is loaded. Make sure you don't click Submit twice, because then you'd send the next image without any annotation or explanation. In this example, I'd like to show you how you can add multiple explanations to one annotation. I click on Gleason pattern 3 on the left side and select the green color. I'll annotate the entire area because, again, the atypical glands are lying very close together and there's very little stroma. Then I select the corresponding explanation from the ontology. Since there are also atypical glands in the entire area that are looser than a nodule and are infiltrative, I additionally select this explanation and then click out of the box. Now, both explanations are selected and I click Done. Furthermore, I now want to annotate single, separately located atypical glands all individually, which I do as follows. Here, it's important to annotate as accurately as possible. Since I did not select an explanation when I annotated the first gland, I can now select the explanation for all annotations at the same time. Single individual atypical glands separated from each other. Now I've completed the annotation. If I want to correct the annotations, I can select the respective annotations here on the left side and move the waypoints. But since I'm satisfied with the annotation, I click on Submit. Since I've completed annotating all the images, I'm redirected to another page. At this point, there's nothing more for you to do. You can go to the bottom left corner of the screen to log out. I'd like to take this opportunity now to thank you again on behalf of our KTI team for your participation in this study. Goodbye.